Hi, this is Exorcist, a show that continues to talk about Gundam games and continues to talk about SD Gundam G Generation Internal. I make this video because the new, ongoing rather, the ongoing Lacroan hero events, it's really well done. It's incorporated so many elements from the original NES and later Game Boy and SNES. And yes, you can see it also has the 90s animation cells used in it. It's a trip down the memory lane. Now I'm going to show some early stages as well as the art style that I have been talking about. Think this mobile game did something that the old console versions never did. And yeah, you can see the map here. It's really recreated the old games without losing any of its charms. You can hear the sound effects. These selection sound effects, those are the old school RPG sound effects. And yes, you can hear the Knights or Warriors, this is kind of a sword and magic variant of SD Gundam, where the SD Gundams are their own character, like they move on their own, literally like robots, like Transformers. Oh yeah, and the cave water is like real water. I mean, you sort of have that for the sea levels, but it is quite crazy to see the terrains in this cave map. And for the combat footage, you can see the cave background. Like here, we advance for another type of attack so that you can see more of the cave. You can also see these warrior Gunganon is running instead of fostering around. Next, we are going to take a look at the priest gun tank with his spells. This is kind of what we see in the preview movies from the live stream a bit earlier. You can see Gundam actually have a mouth where its exhaust used to be. Yeah, the D&D priest look works really well with the way Gundam looks. Again, these are all characters designed in the late 80s, early 90s. GM Sniper Custom, yes, this is the first GM Sniper, and it is literally just firing a crossbow. Because this is a sort of magic type of settings for SD Gundam. Oh, Slamadazam. It is super cute. But you can also see the Slamadazam on the side of the cave. You even get his rapid fire crossbow moves. And with, crossbow sound effects instead of just using regular shooting sound effects. And now let's look at some moves from Night Gundam. They also recreate the shiny background, like the Mara background from the original SD Gundam cards, as they call it, or as Bandai brand it, which is really lovely. I would also like to mention how the stage is set up like it is a storybook or a chronicle that you read of instead of, the sort of computer files for the regular stages. Now we are getting into the album, a new addition to the gallery. And yeah, just like we saw in the combat footage, it is based off of the original cards. You can flip around the card. Unfortunately, we don't actually, have the different reflection, the rainbow colors, but this is pretty cool on itself. I still haven't got all the cards when I recorded this video, but it will come as you progress through the events. Now, like the previous story events or campaign events, you got a boss battle, and yeah, the skip animation have a 8-bit background, which again is just lovely to the NES roots of the game. Now that we got some coins, let's go to the cardless machine. Yes, they have a virtual cardless machine for you to pull cards out of. This is exactly how Bandai distribute this card back in the 90s as well as today. And yeah, you do a little bit of spin, like how you spin the real cardless machine. We got a Warrior Saku here, a regular card, but yeah, you can move it around just like other cards. This is just nostalgia overload. Like the background of this event, once again, is the shiny background, like the actual cardless cards. They are just all excellent. So yeah, I briefly talk about how the Night Gundam world, where the mobile suits are a species of their own, so they don't really have pilots. So what they did is redraw the Night Gundam characters in the same style as other pilots in the game, and basically creating a second persona, second profile for the game system to work with, which is great. I might talk about this a bit more when we get to my recommendations or the talk about the functions of gameplay of these SD Gundams. But at least from a gameplay perspective or from a art style perspective, this is really well done. They are not sacrificing the aesthetics or the style of Night Gundam stories, and they incorporate it into the existing G generation system very smoothly. And yes, if you notice, we have Pegasus White Base. For those who don't know, White Base is a Pegasus class, which was more of a figurative speech, but in the SD Night Gundam world, it is literally a Pegasus. And yeah, this ship is pretty much the equivalent of your Universal Century or Alternative Series Nova ship that have Sala as the captain. Again, in the same style. Well, okay, Sala is in the chibi SD Gundam style, but she is drawn much like other pilots. White Base Pegasus, not so much, not like the other ships, but I'm fine with that. That artwork looks super cute and cool. I think the Pegasus White Base is a really cool fantasy rendition of it. Here are all the reward units that you get from the Night Gundam events. Well, and Night Sasabi, who slipped through the cracks. He's a gacha unit, but I will talk about him in a separate video. Anyways, as you can see, we got quite a good coverage of attack type, durability type, and support type. And like I have mentioned, you just upgrade them like regular Gundams in the game. You know, limit break them to get a star up for bonus stats, and you level them up for your base stat growth. And yeah, Warrior Gun Gunner here with the Greenfield background, that is a very good old Sword and Magic hero background. And yeah, Nice Azabi here, and Satan Gundam with their Volcano background. Very good villain background as well. You can see they have a linked palette next to their level for you to click in, because you can't change the pilots like unless we have future types. But yeah, for now the pilots and the suits are linked together, and you go and they can't be separated. They are good and bad from here, but at least for the rewards unit that we have here, it means that they can be a bit more powerful than their usual pilots or most counterparts, because the development team can make sure that they are balanced in a way that they want it to be. And yes, Satan Gundam as an SSR have a gold shiny background as opposed to plain background that is on Warrior Gun Cannon. Again, a very good tribute to the Cadets. Same goes with Night Gundam. And if you have been paying attention to these guys' terrain adaptability type, yes, you can use them in space, and yes, you can absolutely use them in your free squads. Unfortunately, at this point in time, they don't have their respective original Gundam series for the suits, but that's fine. They still walk in space, which is kind of funny. But yeah, these guys are totally capable of fighting regular mobile suits. And yes, a bit of spoiler alert, you do get Satan Gundam, which is also true for a lot of the Zeon forces. They are supposed to be enemies in the story, but much like the game itself, you can earn them or gacha them to be on your team. It is kind of funny to see Night Zork while still having the beam cannon fingers, but cast a spell instead. But yeah, Satan Gundam with the echoey voice, pretty cool. So yeah, all in all, I think this event is a great starting point if you haven't get into this game yet. There are some limits to where these SD Gundams can go as far as challenge level goes, but for clearing the main campaign or even the tower events that, if you haven't noticed, is still ongoing, they could help you if you don't have a certain type of units, like durability units that you can get to support defense from, say, Night Gundam, or to support attack from Gun Tank, Priest Gun Tank, or Satan Gundam, who have a exceptionally high support damage for a SSR unit and pilot combo. really think the development team behind G Generation Internal really love the whole SLG format. Like, G Generation is not the first Gundam SLG. It is actually the Night Gundams and the Busha or Samurai Gundams. So for them to have such a, I mean, you can pick on it. There are places where they, they don't recreate everything perfectly, but I think it is good enough to give you the feeling of playing the game as it was on the NES or SNES, and also let you experience during katas like I was a kid. Like, forget everything else I said about G Generation Internal. This is the event that solidify what they're trying to achieve with this. This is how live service games are supposed to be done. So that some of the probably not obscured but very old entries can get a bit of new life without people investing into retro gaming hardware or softwares, without a whole bunch of extra compatibility issues. And remaster is probably not the right words, but reworks, updates, that is app for those old entries. I'm probably going to do more videos about these guys, and I'm sorry that I didn't make a Gunpla video up soon. The next one will be a Gunpla video ish, a bit of Gunpla talk actually, a bit of Gundam lore talk actually, but with Gunpla. So yeah, I hope we will see more SD Gundam in the future. They announced that the new fierce enemies will be Busha Gundam and Commander Gundam, which I am looking very much forward to. But yeah, I probably save them with the unit talk later. As you can see, I haven't maxed out their level yet. I think a lot of them is worth throwing in SP conversion, but that I will also save that after we see Busha Gundam and Commander Gundam. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
やらせん